The game I'm looking at today is Show Manager by Queen Games. It's a 2 to 6 player game, plays in about an hour, and is recommended for ages 10 and up. Now, one thing I've always associated with Queen Games is they always have good art and fantastic production values, and Show Manager doesn't disappoint. It continues that fine lineage of just fantastically produced games. One thing that kind of put me off about this right off the bat is the theme doesn't really do it for me. In this, you are a manager of a musical company or a play company. I don't even know what you call them. And you're hiring actors to stage 4 different plays. Now, I ain't a musical person. The last musical I saw was South Park, the musical, and I mean, even before that, it was basically consisted of cartoon movies that happened to have music in them, or singing in them. So the deck was definitely stacked against this game right off the bat. But it was recommended to me by a friend, and it plays up to 6 people, so it was worth a shot. So, let's see how it plays. This is a 3-player setup for the game Show Manager. The idea behind this game is that you are all producing the same 4 musicals, and each of these musicals is going to appear in one of the 5 cities. And once a city has been selected, all of the players are competing to see which of their particular productions will be the most valuable of each of these 4 categories. Players hire actors, which all appear up here, and these affect the value of each of your productions. On a player's turn, you must do, at a minimum, one of the following 2 things. You can either hire an actor for the displayed value, or you can stage a musical based on the actors that you have in your hand. When you first start the game, you actually don't have any cards, so the immediate thing you're going to be doing is simply buying actors. When you go to buy an actor, there's 2 things that you can do. You can either straight out buy an actor for the value shown, or you can spend $2,000 to reset everyone on the board and replace them with 4 new actors. But the game's just beginning, so I'm going to have player 1 simply take this actor, which is worth $0, and add it to their hand. The way the cards work in this game are each actor can only appear in certain musicals in certain roles in order to score points. So if this actor appears in Queenie as actor A, she'll get 7 points for the production, or she can also appear in Moonlight as actor C, and she'll only score 2 points. From this chart on the left, you can see that each of these productions requires a different number of actors. The lowest rated musical is Rats, and it only needs 3 performers, A, B, and C. Now, if I'm able to fill all 3 of these positions with all the actors, I'll get a bonus 3 points. The green production needs 4 actors, red needs 5, and the blue needs 6. For the first number of turns, people are just going to be drawing actors that they see on the board until they get an idea of what specific play they want to strive for. Players are just going to keep scoping out actors which have decent values for specific plays. Like this actor here, she'll get 6 points if she appears in Queenie. So I'll just have player 2 buy her, reset the track, and continue. So skipping forward a little bit, let's say that player 1 has 4 actors in their hand and they want to stage the musical Rats. Well, I've collected an A actor for Rats, a B actor for Rats, and a C actor for Rats, which will allow me to play it and get the bonus points for it. So all I do is I declare these 3 actors, I add up their totals. So here I got 5, 9, and 5, so that's 19 points. I get the 3 bonus points for fulfilling all the roles, and I fill out this production tile to score 19 plus 3, so that's 22 points for the trumpet player. The first player to complete a specific musical, it gets to choose which city it appears in. Stockholm being the least valuable city and New York being the most valuable. And as you can see, the point values are actually staggered differently depending on the column. So you're going to stage a musical based on how well you think you're going to do. So if I feel that I'm doing poorly in rats, I'm going to assign this to a lower valued city. Show Manager is a 6-player game, so no matter how many players you play with, you're always going to be using all of the production tiles. So there's essentially some dummy players in the game. So the first time that you assign a new musical, you also assign all the dummy players, which have fixed values based on how many people are playing. And you simply order them based on ranking, like so. And so if things stay this way at the end of the game for the trumpet player, he's going to score 16 points at the end of the game. Here's a good point to explain one of the key mechanics of the game. As you can see for rats, the max hand is 5. If I had had 5 cards in my hand, I'd be allowed to play on rats. If I had 6 cards in my hand, I would not have been allowed to play rats, and I could only have played for Queenie, Lipstick, or Moonlight. On top of this, there's no way to discard any cards until you've staged a production. And that's the bulk of the game. Players just keep drawing actors that they want, refilling the board if they want, and basically just trying to build the 4 productions. And once all 4 have been completed by everyone, the game's over and you figure out who has won based on these points on the board. I guess I'll cover miscasting before I finish this up. Let's say that I want to do the production of Queenie, which requires 4 actors. And it also says that I can only have a max hand of 6. So I'll look at my hand here. I have 6 cards, and I see I have a B actor, a C actor, and a D actor, but I don't have an A. So if I wanted to, or if I was forced to, I could play these 3 actors and miscast the A actor with anyone in my hand. Now what happens here is they score me 0 points because they were miscast. Then I'll score the points for the properly cast actors. So 6, that's 9, that's 11. And because this isn't a proper production, I don't get the bonus points. I'll assign the 11 points. I can choose a city of my liking, so I'll choose Stockholm. I'll fill in with all the dummy players in the correct order. And that's it. And speaking of miscasting or not having the appropriate actors, there are also these amateur actors in the game, which they're only worth 1 point, but they can fulfill any of the main roles. So you can play them for 1 point, but you will get the bonus for the production. The only other rule of note is the only way to get more money during the game is to borrow against your existing productions. So the trumpet player could say, well, I'm out of money, so I'm going to take my value 22 production and I can take out a maximum of $10,000 on it. So if I were going to take out $10,000, I would change this 22 to a 12. And I can only do this once per production. I then take my money and then I reorder myself based on the new value. So because this is a 12, I'm going to go to the bottom of the pack, which will hurt me in the end game scoring. This is what the game will look like at the very end. 4 of the 5 cities will be completely full with every production tile, and at this point you simply add up each player's standings and the actual point values on the left and declare a winner. Well, this is a game that completely overcame its theme. What I've learned in my gaming career is that theme doesn't really matter to me, I just need a theme. The game could have been about folding laundry, but it wouldn't have mattered because the game underneath is fun. Basically what this is, it's a set collection game bundled with a push your luck aspect. And so you're constantly, jostling for position, pushing it as far as you can, maybe taking out loans on your companies to hurt yourself at one point, but being able to hire actors later on that would benefit you in the long run. So the whole combination of what's going on there is really engaging for me. Also, I've played this in a few different settings. I've played this as a 2-player game, as a 4-player game, and as a 6-player game, and on all counts, it's fun. It plays pretty much exactly the same. You know, in the two-player game, you're kind of controlling two companies at the same time, but it doesn't matter. It works really well. I'm just shocked. This is one of the few games that really does support the minimum and the maximum amount of players in pretty much equally as well. One of the main things I do want to mention about this game is the artwork is phenomenal. You get this deck of 132 cards, which is all the actors in the game, and I mean, all of them look amazing. They're stunning caricatures, and they all have this weird, eerie similarity to actors that we all know. But they're just off, just that little weird bit, but you can tell who most of these are based on. One of my initial concerns with this game when I opened up the box was there seemed to be a minimal amount of components, but I quickly came to realize that this was actually kind of a breath of fresh air. I'm so used to more complicated Euro-style games where there's just hundreds and hundreds of little bits, and it can be just such a pain to set them up and organize them and whatnot. And it's just so relieving almost to be able to set this game up so quickly. It's like you put out your actors, your money, give each player their tiles, and you're ready to go. It's it's nice. So what was originally a complaint is actually a compliment, and yeah, like I said, totally made up for by the art. Wow. So I can't recommend this enough, especially if you have a high number of players that you're always trying to find a game for. I believe that this deserves a spot in anyone's collection. See you next time.